Alright, hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to do like a 3-floor kind of elevator script kind of thing. And this is a small environment I put together in the last few days just to make it cool looking. So we're going to have this elevator here. We've got two buttons. One's going to be for, this one here is going to be for the second floor here. This one's going to be for the third floor. And then once we're on the second floor, this is going to be for the first floor. This could be the third floor. And then once we're on the third floor, this is going to be for the first floor, and this is going to be for the second floor. So that's basically everything that we have set up. Everything else is just for fun, make it look cool, make each floor kind of interesting looking at least. So the first thing we're going to do, here's the gate for the elevator, for at least just the first floor. The other floors don't have it, but just for the first floor here, we have a little gate. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a builder brush. Let's just get it in a good location. And let's just morph the size of this just a tad bit. There we go. Now that we have the builder brush kind of the size we want, what we're going to do is go to volumes, and then we're going to go to trigger volume. We get ourselves a trigger volume. Also, just make sure under your world properties here that we have UT game for both play and editor and just for the default game type. Everything else doesn't really matter. You don't need to recreate this scene or anything like that. But what we're going to do here, after we create our trigger volume here, we're also going to make sure this is our platform. This is what's going to go, up and down, everything like that. Just make sure that's an interactor like I have here. If you don't know how to do that, just right-click on it, convert, and if it's already a interactor, you won't see it here. But if it's a static mesh or K-actor or anything like that, you'll see the turn into a mover. That's your interactor. So now with the trigger volume selected, let's open up Kismet. I already have a little bit going on here. This is just for the environment itself, so we can ignore that. What we're going to do, right-click, new event using trigger volume 0, which is our trigger volume. Now we're going to have this be triggered infinite amount of times, so turn that to a 0. And from there, we're going to do a new Matinee. And these two pieces here, they're both interactors. So let's select the first one here, go into Matinee, add new empty group, and just do gate movement underscore left. Right click on that, do add new movement track. And this should be a relatively short animation, so I'll just make it a second. Hit enter, and then that's our keyframe. And let's just move it like that. But let's actually get a precise measurement. So 64 and 32. So that's our movement here. So let's select the other gate part, add new empty group, name it gate movement underscore right. Right click, add new movement track, and do the same location here. And now we're going to do 1, 2, 3. There we go. There's our gate. So it'll be like shh. And there's our matinee for it. So it's touched, and we play it. And then untouched, we reverse. So let's give that a try. Oops. Okay, and then from here, that's when we'll start doing our trigger volume, not trigger volumes, but actual triggers. So let's go ahead and add those actors in actually here. Right click, add actor, add trigger. And I'm just going to change the scale, the draw scale of the trigger, just so it's not in our face or anything like that. second one. And let's just duplicate these all the way up. Perfect. So this one's going to the second floor here. So let me go ahead. Let's just go ahead and just create used events for all these triggers here. I'm just going to comment on each one. Second, I'll just comment this as first to second floor. Then this one's going to go from first to third, the one we have selected now. So let's add a new event to that. Comment first to third floor. Now let's go up. This one's going to be from second to first. So do a new event. Used. Hit C to comment. And let's do second to first floor. And then this one's your second to third. And then lastly here, this one we'll do third to first. And it's good because this kind of script has it's not complicated logic, but it's logic nonetheless. And it's good to make sure everything is labeled just so you know exactly what's going on. And then this one's good. This last trigger here, it's going to go from third to second. Perfect. And then let's select all of these triggers, all 6. Where's there 7? No, there's 6. Have them all selected. Let's do an aim to interact. And then max trigger count 0. So there we go. Now they can be used an infinite amount of times. And while we're here, let me just separate some stuff here. Comment that one being gate open. Let me just toss this separate here. While we're here, let's create our variables. So there's only going to be a total of 3 variables we have to work with. It's whether we're on the first, second, or third floor. So I need 3 booleans. First one's going to be a value of 1 for true. This one's going to be B on first floor. This one's true just because it's going to start on the first floor. That's really it. So let's copy and paste this. Change its value to 0 so it's false. And name this B on second floor. And then copy and paste this one last time. Leave it as false and just name it B on third floor. So there's our variables. Let's go ahead and group them here. Comment as variables. And while we're here, let's go make our named variables. Can't really read that. Let me expand it. So bool B on first floor. Copy and paste that. B on second floor. And lastly, B on third floor. And let's actually create a player variable. Variable, player. Uncheck all players just so it's our player here, and the variable name is player. Not too complicated. Let's copy and paste and make a name variable for it. It's going to be a player variable. Just name player. Boom. Now we have our name variables as well, so it's going to be easy to keep track of all our logic here. So what we want to do here as well is touch events, just to let them know what each button is going to take them to. So let's grab each individual trigger here. Let's just move to an empty space in our Kismet here. So this one's trigger 2, and based on here, trigger 2 is going first to second floor. So let's right click, new event, touch, just set this to infinite amount. And every time they touch it, I just want to play an announcement. This one, for this one, it's going to say go to second floor, or actually press E to go to second floor. And we're just going to go ahead and tie that in. We're going to do that for each one. So this one's going to go to the third floor. So let me just copy and paste these guys. Right click, update it, and then change this to press E to third floor. Moving up. This is trigger 4. Trigger 4 is going to second to first. So let's just change the announcement. Go to first floor. Then this one's going to third floor. Alright. And then let's do it again. This one's trigger 1. This is probably going to the first floor, but let's check. Yep. So let's right click, update it. And then first floor. And this one has to be going to the second floor. So let's select that, copy and paste it, update it, change the announcement, and we're good. So here's our touch events for the triggers. So let's just make a comment here. Elevator switch touch events. So that's very straightforward. So let's put that right next to the gate opening one. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do here is our animations for this actual elevator. So what we're going to need is individual animations for each floor or level. So we're going to need animation for this elevator going up to the second floor and then going down back to the first floor. We're going to need an animation for the first floor going all the way up to the third, and then an animation of that all the way from the third to the first. And then we're going to need an animation for the elevator from the second floor going up, and then the third back down to the second. We're going to need all those different animations here. And the reason why is just because Matinee doesn't really allow for, from what I can tell, really good, like I tried doing this with very limited animations by myself. Didn't really work out. I found just doing individual animations for each section is the easiest and the cleanest way to go to guarantee it for it to work. So that's why we're doing it that way. So let's grab our elevator. Let's go ahead and create a new Matinee. Double click to get Matinee open. Let's right click, add new empty group, and we're going to name this first to second floor. Right click on that to add movement track, and I'll just make it about like 2 seconds long. Hit enter, and then let's go ahead and just drag this up. And there we go. So there's our animation, so let's just watch it. Perfect. And let's actually just make this a 4-second animation. So it's a little slower, but you're like, perfect. So I'm just going to select this, name it first, second floor. Once again, making sure you know exactly what each thing is doing. So, what we're going to need to do now is the animation from first to second floor. So right click, new Matinee, double click it, bring it back up. Add new empty group, and this is going to be second to first floor. Add new movement track. These are 4-second long animations. So let's bring it back now. Perfect. Nice. Okay. So we have that. That's right, I kind of paused there for a second. I was just thinking about something. So let's just comment this one. Send me second. Oops. To the first floor. Now what we need to do is a first to third floor animation. So let's do a new matinee. Making sure our interactor still is selected. Double click on it. Add an empty group, first to third floor. Right click on that. Add new movement track. Make this 4 seconds. Actually, based on this logic, it's going to be 8 seconds because it's going to 2 floors. So let's bring that all the way up to third floor. Perfect. Let me also correct this. There we go. So back, select our interactor. So let's just watch this, make sure it went through correctly. And we're doing good. And we're on the third floor. Boom. Perfect. So move this in the appropriate section here. Press C to comment. We do first to third floor. Now we need to do it when it's on the third floor to the first. So let's just move that on up. And our snap was at 32 before. Let's just put it back just to make sure. Right click, new matinee, double click it. Add new empty group, third to first floor. Add a movement track. This could be 8 seconds again. So let's drag our timeline. And then at 8 seconds hit our keyframe. And let's just drop it back down. And perfect. There we go. And then the last set of animations we're going to do here are the second floor and third floor ones here. So let me just comment this one here. Third to first floor. So far, we have the first to the second, and the second to the first to all the way to the third, and then third all the way back down to the first. So now we just need to do the second floor ones here. So with it, now we have it in the second floor position. Let's right click, new matinee. Double click on the matinee, right click, and go into group, second to third floor. Add new movement track. This is going to be 4 seconds. Let's drag it all the way up. There we go. Perfect. So now the last thing here is put all the way up here, but let's also comment this animation. Second to third floor. Then the last thing here, now it's in the third position, we're going to bring it back down to the second one. So let's right click, new matinee, double click it, right click here, add new empty group, third to second floor. Add new movement track, 4 seconds long. And then let's drop it back down to the second floor. Perfect. And then last but not least, let's just comment this. This is third to second floor. Just move it down just a tad. Awesome. So now we have the animations and we also have our triggers ready. So at this point, this is where the logic comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and move these matinees a little bit this way. Now let's start with the first floor. So basically first floor, second floor. So what we need to do is, as soon as that trigger's hit, we're already on the first floor, we know that much for a fact. So all we need to do is compare what we want to do here. So if this one's hit, they also want to go to the second floor. So let's go ahead, not comment, but let's do a new action, event, activate remote event. Attach that. And let's name this event first to second floor. And what this is going to do, let's go ahead and right click, do new event, remote event. Now let's just name it the same here. Name it first to second floor. Update that. Oops. There we go. Now I need to go to the appropriate matinee animation, which is going to be our first one here. And we're going to play that animation. And what else we're going to do here is we're going to start setting variables here. So let's right click. New action, set variable, bool. We actually have to do this twice. So what we're going to do, because we want to go on the first floor, from the first floor to the second floor, what that means is we need to go ahead and get the variable for the first floor here. Since we're leaving the first floor, we're going to change this to false. So let's right click, create a new variable. That's already got to change it to false by default here. And then what we're going to do is copy and paste that. And we're going to set this variable from 0 to 1. And we're actually going to change the target to the second floor variable because that's where we're going. And that should work. Let's also create a new event. Level loaded. Hold down L on your keyboard, left click, that creates a log. That's where this player variable is going to be for our target. Then expose variable. Let's do bool. Take our 3 bools, just copy and paste them. They're all going to be logged. And we're going to right click, create and activate delay for about a second, just so we can loop it. And let's just comment saying debug. Let's also just move this a little bit out of the way. So let's see if this works so far. Okay, so it does work. Oh, that's why. We need to have it start on the first floor. So, alright, let's try that again. Here's our lift. And we're going to the second floor. And now we're here. So we know that's working, but now we have to start setting. Like, if we press that, nothing happens, obviously. And when we press that, nothing happens. So, let's first also set up the third floor. So it's going to be almost identical logic for each one. We just would have to change a couple of things here. So let's just copy and paste this sequence section. Here's me with my OCD. So we're going to change this remote event to first to third floor. And we're also going to update it on this end. Copy and paste this. Select it. First to third floor. And then let's plug it into the correct Matinee. There we go. And let me get back here. Update this side. And now what we need to do here is, since we're going from first to third, this section is going to be the same. We're going to change that to false, but we have to change this section. Set the third to true. And then from there we're good. So we have everything so far pretty good. So let's see if that works. So let's see if we go to the third floor. And we're here. Perfect. So we just gotta keep continuing this. So now, assuming we're on the second floor, let's go ahead and extend this out. Let's go ahead and copy the same logic here. So let's try, this is me again with my OCD. Let's just straighten everything out. We need to change this to second to first floor. And let's go ahead and update it on this side. Copy and paste. So this is second to first. There we go. So let's update it again on this side. And what we need to do at this point, we're going second to first. So we would need to change this one to the second floor, set it to false because we're moving away from it. And we're going to the first floor, so that's got to be true again. So let's go ahead and set that variable up. So let's see if that one's working. So we should be able to go up to the second floor and then come back down to the first floor. Then we can. Perfect. So now let's see if we can get this set up. So we're doing the second to third floor. So let's go ahead and expand that out. And this is only part of this. We're actually have a backup system here in a moment once we have all these animations going. I'll show you and explain what I mean once we get to it. So let's just copy and paste that. Okay. Let's go ahead and update the logic here. Since we're going to the second to the third floor, this part stays the same. We just need to update this to the third floor. And then we just need to create the appropriate event here. So second to third. What did I do? Oh, we didn't update this either, so second to third floor. Perfect. Update that. So let's find second to third right here. So now we should be able to go from the first to second to the third. And there we go. So all we have left is these two. So let's go ahead and just complete these last few animations, and then the first section will be complete. And then from there, we're just going to create this backup plan here. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, copy and paste this section. And then we just need to update this. So third to first floor. And then let's go ahead. Since we're going to be on the third floor, we gotta go ahead and change this to false. And then we're going back to the first floor, so we need to get that to become true again. Okay. Okay. And then we just need to update here. So we're doing third to first. Here we go. So let's go ahead and see if that works. Let me just make sure this updated actually. Yeah, it didn't update properly here. So let's see if that's working. So now we should be able to go from the first to the third, and then the third back to the first. So let's see if that's working. There we go. We're going back down to the first. Awesome. So last thing here, third to second. So let's just expand this out. Copy and paste. Okay. Now let's just update everything. So we're going from the third to second floor. And then what we're going to do, update things here. This section stays the same, but now we just got to change that to second floor. And then last, go ahead, copy and paste one of these guys, put them into this last matinee. Rename it to third to second floor. Press play. And then update. And then there we go. So let's see if they all work. And then once we know all these are working, we're going to set up like a contingency backup plan. So let's go to the second floor. And then let's go back down to the first floor. Now let's go to the third floor. Let's go back down to the second floor. And let's go back up to the third floor again. And let's go back down to the first. And there we go. Perfect. So actually, before we even move forward here, I want to have it to also call move this trigger volume. I'll put 32. Yeah, that should be enough. So I want to actually make a call here. Do new action, actor. No, I do a new event. Activate remote event. And this is just to open those gates again. So open first floor gate. I'll just adjust that to make room. And then there's our open gate. And let's make room for a new event. Right click, event, remote event. Just copy and paste the name. And then go into play. And then let's update. So we're going to do that for each time we go back to the first floor. Boom. So now we have that set up as well. So the last thing we need to set up here, I'll show you what I want to do and why. So say for example, we get in, and say we go to like the second floor. So now we're on the second floor, we're like, yay! But what if we jump down? There's no real way to really, get the elevator back down, which is a huge problem. So what we would need to do is just have another sort of button available for the player to press. So just get another button. So give me a moment here. Here's our button. And that's actually going to be on each floor. So let's just stick this button right here. This will call the elevator from any floor that it's on. So now we have that button there. Let's also just put a little light next to it. It's going to be like 128 in size. Maybe like 2 in brightness or something. Actually, let's make it even less in radius here, just so they can see it. Let's drag that up to each floor. Let's just do it one last time. Okay. And also, what we might need here is our dynamic blocking volume at all. No. Okay. What actually I want to have here also, that might be a little too complicated. Let's just do this first. So before we move forward, we also need triggers again here. So let's right click, add actor, trigger. Let's change the draw scale. Okay. So that's our first floor. This is our second floor. And then our third floor. I don't really think the third floor one's necessary, but we're going to do it. So basically now we have it, so let's select our trigger. So what we're going to do, let's right click, new event using triggers, it says used. Okay, and also let's do a touch one here. Let's go infinite number of times. And let's also get the trigger used infinite amount of times. So when this trigger is touched, like the other ones here, we want to do a new action event. No, not event. New action play announcement. Just do call elevator. So that's a very simple setup. Let me get this out of the way. And then next what we're going to do, which actually set up the logic for this setup for when, if for any reason you fall off and the elevator is on a different floor and you can't get to it again, what we need to do is once this trigger is touched, let's go new condition, comparison, we're going to compare bools now. So now what the first bool we're going to compare is the first floor. So if we're already on the first floor and the elevator is on the first floor as well, and we press this button, basically we just want to tell the player, hey, you know, you're already on the first floor. So I'll just create a copy of that announcement and saying the elevator is on the first floor. And then if this is false, so say it's not on the first floor, that's when we need to do another comparison. So copy and paste that. True. And then so if this is false, we go in and then we got changed. We're going to compare it to the second floor. So copy and paste that variable. And then from here, if it's true, if we are on the second floor, we're going to deploy that animation, the second to first floor. Actually, let's just copy and paste that whole sequence, second to first floor. So if this is true, go ahead and activate this sequence. But if the second floor is false, that means it's the third floor that's true, but we're going to make a third comparison anyway. So false into in, update this to the third floor. And then, so if this is true, let's copy the third to first floor sequence. Perfect. So let's see if that works. So let's press this button. And it's saying, oh, we're already on the first floor. But let's go in. Let's go to the second floor. And then let's say for some reason we jump off. Let's make our call. Now we're back. And let's just try third floor. So say, for example, we fall off the third floor. So say, oh, we fell, oh no, what are we going to do? Let's call elevator back down. And now we know it's working. Perfect, so let's go ahead and let's just move this touch event into this section here. Okay, so let's do the same thing with the second floor. So let's grab this trigger. Let's do a new touch event. So let's copy and paste the section because it's going to be the same thing essentially. But let's update it with the right trigger here. So now that's working. Let's go ahead, let's move this. No, we're not going to move it. I'm just going to comment this. So we'll just do call to first floor. Awesome. So next what we're going to do is the same thing basically. So what we're going to do is copy and paste everything in this section. Actually, not really. Let's actually just start from scratch. Let's do new event. This could be used. Make sure this is set to 0 here. just so it can be called an indefinite amount of times. From here, let's go to a new condition comparison and compare bool. Since we're on the second floor, the first call is going to be to see if the second floor bool is true or false. So let's go ahead and do that. So if it is true, let's get a play announcement here. And then just update it to say it's on the second floor already. But if it's false, that's when we need more logic. Oops. Now change from second floor, say we're on the first floor. So if we are on the first floor, basically we want to call it from first to second. And we'll just copy and paste this logic. Boom. But say we're not on the first floor, say we're on the third. Let's go ahead, move this around, plug that in. Let's update this to the third floor. So if we're on the third floor, we need to do third to second. So here's that logic. Let's just plug that into true. And there we go. So let's comment that. Call to second floor. A lot of these calls aren't necessary. It's not likely that it would happen. Where if we're on the second floor, like how could the elevator be on the first floor or anything like that? But we're already on the first floor, so let's go to the second. Let's go up to the third. Actually, let's just check this button. The elevator's on the second floor. So let's go up to the third. I don't even think it's possible to really land on the second floor here. Okay, it is. So now that we're on the second floor, we get it called back in. Perfect. So we know that's working. So basically now all we have to really do is like contingency plans just for it messing up with the third floor. So it's going to be the same, almost identical logic here as these last two ones here. But let's go ahead and add it. Let's go up. Honestly, the first thing we're going to do is add that touch event for the call elevator. So let's copy and paste this. Update the trigger. That's set. Let's right click, new event, used. Oops. New event using trigger 6 and then used. Set this to 0 so it can be called an infinite amount of times. And from there, let's do a new condition, comparison, compare bool. Since we're on the third floor, we're going to check the third floor variable first. So let's go ahead and grab that one. Whoops. And then if this is true, let's get our play announcement. And so let's change that from the second to third floor. If this is false, let's go ahead, compare the second bool to the first floor. So let's get rid of that, copy and paste the first floor bool. And so if this is true, basically we need to do the first to third. First to third logic. But this is false. If this happens to be false here, let's go ahead and change that to second floor. And then basically we need to do the second to third floor. So here's our logic. Let's copy and paste that. Put that in. And there we have it. So let's just copy. Let's select all of those. We need to call to third floor. So let's see if everything is working here. Let me also put these guys into the variable section. Awesome. So let's play. Okay. We're already on the first floor. So let's go to the second floor. Okay. Now let's say we fall off. And we got that call again. So let's go to the third floor. And we're just going to check to see if every check is working. If it is, we're basically done. So let's just see if all the checks are working. So let's fall. Awesome. So let's go back to the third floor here. Oh, it kind of broke. Interesting. Okay. So let's see what broke. So we're on the first floor. Let's go to the third. So now we're on the third. Let's go ahead and call this one. Okay. We brought it back down. So can we go back to third? Alright, so it's not going back up. Why is that? I believe it's because these matinees do. Just set these to rewind on play. I don't know if this is actually going to change anything, but I guess we'll find out. So let's see what's going on, because definitely stuff is happening. So let's go in. Let's go to the third floor. Now on the third floor, if I go back to the first, I can. If I go back up to the third. Huh. I think that broke it more. So let's actually undo that change. So let's see if I can figure out what's going on. So let's go up to the third. And let's go back to the first. And let's see if we can go back up to the third floor again. So it's not letting me go back up. So what's going on here? think we need to have a conditional check here. So let's actually extend that. New condition, compare bool. So if this is true, go in. Now we're going to do the first one. Let's go ahead, disconnect that. Go like that. Do the same condition because we're still on the first floor. There we go. Disconnect that. So now we're on the second floor. So we need to compare the second floor variable here. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, keep extending these. Copy and paste this one. Don't have to change it. Okay. Disconnect that one. Copy and paste this comparison. Now we just got the third floor variable. Okay, and then last one here. Let's go ahead and drag this across. Copy and paste, no need to change anything. Just need to plug it in. Plug it in. Alright, so let's see if that comparison actually made a difference in our sequence here. So let me just press on save. So let's go up to the third. And then let's do the second floor. And it's back to the third floor. Let's get rid of the first floor. So it's still not letting me. Like, it seems like once an animation, it has to be doing with the matinees. So there has to be one. There has to be a setting we need to change here. I don't want it to. Okay. Let me see here. Let me actually open up my prep level for this here. I wonder if I kept it. I hope I kept it. I don't think I did. Poop. Okay. let's do I believe it's going to be rewind on play. That has to be it. So let's give that a try. Because once it plays, it's not going to play again until it's reversed. So I'm going to go ahead and try that out. So over here. So let's do the second floor. Whoops. Let's go back to the third. Oh, we can actually test it here. Can we keep going back and forth? That's strange. What happened there, I wonder? So this is the third floor. And this one's going to be back to the first floor. Rewind on play. Alright, let's just see what rewind and looping does. So I'm sure it's going to do something crazy. Let's just go loop. Let's try that on forced position. Let's see if that works. Goes to the second floor. Goes to the first floor. Goes to the second floor. Nope, that didn't work. I feel like, what am I missing here? So we got first and second floor. Let's see. So let's just uncheck these settings here. Actually, let me get my email open here. Let's see if I can find that level here. Sent email. Okay. Okay, let's try. I thought I tried this one already, but let's try both of those together. So let's go to the third floor. Let's go back down. Oh, that's the second floor. Let's go to the third floor. I go back down to the second floor. Ooh, I can. I think I fixed it. Aw, you. I think that did fix it. So let's go back to the first floor. Yep, cool. I knew I had to do something with the matinee. Okay. We're good. Alright. So basically the last correction we made in these matinee sequences, the two properties we need to have checked are rewind on play and no reset on rewind. That'll allow it to loop how we want it there. So that's the whole sequence here. So let me go ahead. Let me just build lighting real quick. It takes maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Just to go over everything here. What we went over, we took care of just different kinds of logics. We're using bools again here just for an elevator setup. And just with how Matinee works, we needed to make sure we had an individual Matinee sequence for each level. So one for the first to second, another one from second to first, one from first to third, then one from third to first, and then another one for second to third, and then one from third to second. Having each individual Matinee sequence like that keeps it kind of clean, easy to reference, things like that. And then from there, on each Matinee, we had to check two properties. One is rewind on play, and then no reset on rewind. So basically what that means, whenever we play a Matinee sequence, unless you have looping checked, it's only going to play once no matter how many times you tell it to, because it needs to be reversed at some point so it can play again. So what we do is when we play it, we also tell it to kind of rewind itself once it's done. But with the no reset on rewind thing, that means we don't reset its position on the rewind. We just basically say, like, okay, it's rewound, but it's at the position right now, so we can play again in the future. So making sure those two, not variables, but properties are checked will guarantee that. So definitely keep an eye out for that if you do end up recreating this sequence here. And also, what else did we go over? We just went over boolean logic, over conditions, making sure which one was which, things like that. So at this point, it's pretty straightforward. Wasn't that too much of a complicated tutorial, I guess. The one thing that caught me at the end there was those two properties. I forgot those had to get checked. I just had to look into my emails. Because one of my buddies, John Hahn, he needed help with the elevator, so I worked on it, figured out what to do, and I sent him an email about it. So I just had to reread the email because I went over what was wrong. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Definitely appreciate it. If you didn't, obviously you can dislike it, thumbs it down. But if you don't like it, just tell me why you don't like it, what's wrong with the videos, if it's my teaching style, something doesn't make sense. Also leave comments with questions or praise if you like it. Also comment with suggestions for more videos. I have another one planned. May do it next week or the next week after. So I want you guys to be more active with me here, just because it's kind of hard for me to really come up with ideas for new tutorials. I may come up with new stuff just because I play games randomly, kind of find something in the game that's interesting and want to recreate. That's usually where my tutorials come from. And also, if you like the environment, let me know. If you're interested in different kinds of tutorials for UDK, such as lighting, materials, basic editor stuff, let me know. I'll definitely try to put together tutorials for those as well, because lighting's always fun to use, things like that. So also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Maybe once or twice a week I'll have videos of me playing games or me working on tutorials and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do the physics gun environment for a while, only because of the Unreal 4 beta project I'm on. I still have to work on that. Learning it's not a whole new engine, but there's new different things about having to recreate levels in the engine. Taking a lot of my time, plus being full-time employed. There's not a lot of time for me to work on stuff, but when I do, I like to do the tutorials more. Kind of gives me fun little things to work on. So definitely leave me your thoughts, subscribe, like, share, do your thing. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.